Hello, and we're talking from the past. We're speaking to the future. We're recording this
Greetings.
early.
You are watching this on your Hollow Apple iPhone watch devices.
That will come out between now and next Sunday. So, yes. Welcome to the Game Theory Podcast. This is episode 88. We're going to be talking about,
Unpopular gaming opinions.
yeah, we got some video game confessions to make. Besides the fact that I've never finished FF6, which is, a problem. And
That's probably the most shameful confession we'll have today.
this is funny because I was like, well, I guess that could be pretty good. But then I read one of our listeners, Dalton, had put it on the Facebook page, and I had read about it. Or I read what he put on there. He said, "I hate Bioshock Infinite," and I was like, oh, I can see why this would be a fun episode. So,
Yes. You're gonna make everyone feel angry for a while.
yeah, or vindicated. Maybe they were like, "Oh, I also hated that game," or "I also loved that game. That was bad." But yeah, so and we're not doing news and reviews for this time because that would be weird. We don't know what's going to happen over the week. So.
Let's make prediction news. I predict the Nintendo NX will come out tomorrow. Surprisingly, everybody.
Yes, and the new attachment to the Wii U will be a jetpack. That'll be on Thursday, I believe.
And the new Halo game will launch with a helmet that you're supposed to wear. You have to wear it when you're playing. It does nothing to add to the game. It's just a helmet.
And you have to run outside.
The game will not turn on if you're not wearing it.
Additionally, I think the new sleeper hit of the week is going to be School Shooting Simulator. Coming out Friday. It'll be a critical acclaim, and it'll be most popular amongst parents who are buying their kids summer gifts. That's what I think is.
I believe Anita Sarkeesian's pick for Game of the Year will be Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yes, these were likely scenarios. So that was the news section. And reviews, I don't know what we're going to be playing, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be playing more Witcher. Dude, that game, man. It's just like this. Well, that's going to bring me on unpopular gaming opinions.
Yeah, so let's just start it off. I didn't like The Witcher. Didn't care for it. Didn't like it.
God, go fuck yourself. That game is awesome. That game is
way too complicated. The battle, it's not fun. When your whole mechanic is hunting monsters and it's not fun to fight monsters, then you're missing the point of fun.
Oh, it's so fun to fight monsters. You're so full of crap, dude. You get to set traps, and then you get to So one of the mantras of a Witcher is be prepared or be dead, right? So and it gives you ample time to see things in front of you. You're like, okay, there's my enemy, and then you can even sit down and meditate. You can put oils on your blades.
One of the mantras of being a Witcher is rip off Dante's fashion sense and look super emo, and then die. Game's way too hard. No, I'm talking about Witcher 1 because I haven't played Witcher 3 yet, but Witcher 1 did not care for it.
Yeah, I skipped over the combat and I got out of it exactly what I put in, which was shit.
You skipped over the combat for the first two Witcher games because the combat was not fun.
I did. Well, only because I skipped over on the first one, which screwed me for the second one, where it got more complicated, where you could set traps, plus your magical traps, plus your oils, plus your potions, plus your bombs, plus your knives, and it was just this big. Plus, you dodge some, you roll some, you are.
What? Sorry, I fell asleep describing the combat just now.
I know. Witcher 2 got overly complicated, and so I was screwed by that point. I tried to learn it in the pit, you start out in this arena where it's trying to teach you, but the tutorial was overly aggressive, which normally I appreciate. But this time I was like, I'm not ready for this. And so I just was like, fuck, I put it on easy. But now on 3, I'm like, you know what? No, they supposedly streamlined it. So let's see. So I cut it down and it's really fun. Some you need to it's kind of like in Zelda where some you need to be blocking, some you need to be dodging around, jumping around.
If they fix the combat, maybe Witcher 3 is fun, but I did not care for Witcher 1.
I can understand that. But it's a good world. Speaking of, I love Witcher, which is an open world fantasy, right? Where you are this hero who's going to be overthrowing. There's dragons involved, that fly around. There's
scream at them with words of power.
You use signs of power, yes, with your hand, and it's all about this kind of political unrest. And there's Northerners versus this mighty empire. So it's very much like Skyrim. I didn't like Skyrim.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Witcher, didn't like Skyrim.
Okay, here's my experience with Skyrim. Oh, this is cool. A dragon attacked. That's weird. They're executing me for being. I'm an Imperial. The Empire's executing me. That's weird. Oh well, maybe I did something wrong. And then, oh no, dragon attack. Oh cool, a cave. Tutorial cave. Learning how to fight. All right, this is a big world. Oh, a town. Oh good, 30 quests. Nope. log off. Never turned it back on again.
Yeah, man, that's it was like a drinking from water hose. Like, dude, and more importantly,
A fire hose.
the quests were what I say, water hose. Yeah, fire hose.
Drinking from water hose. Refreshing.
Soft, cool, and refreshing. Yeah. The perfect amount for thirst. But no, it was it's fucking horrible. It's like, hey, will you pick my cabbage? And I'm like, oh, get fucked. Like, the good thing about Witcher that they're doing correctly, and I'm not the only one who thinks this has been published on a few different gaming sites, is they finally make side quests worthwhile. They're written and they're fully voice acted and they have meaning, and you do things and you're like, holy shit, I just saved some kid's life, or holy cow, I just saved this whole town from getting overrun. That's crazy. It's not like, oh good, I found an ancient sword underneath a weird outcropping. Great. Like, that's how I felt in Skyrim. And no one gave a fuck. No one cared if you finished their things. But in this, it's like, whoa, there was an arson. Man, I have a chance to make this right. And it had like one of the first side quests is, there's this guy who is it's a non-human, and there's a lot of non-human or anti-non-human sentiment in the Empire. And so when they did that, it was like, you have a chance to like decide how you're going to treat that guy, but for sure that he's going to get hung if you turn him in. And you're like, I don't know, is arson worth the hanging? He was drunk. I don't know. And you got to find him. And like, I don't know. The whole thing is like, it's difficult. So, I don't know. It just feels rewarding. And whereas like Skyrim, God, Jesus, fuck, man. Find my chicken. Is the worst. Don't make side quests to be side quests. Make them to be awesome. So for me, Skyrim was a joke.
Do not clutter up my quest log with your lost chickens.
Yeah, in Witcher 3, okay, so it gives you a lot of optional reading, right? There's these books and stuff, and Skyrim did that too. I read every fucking manual I came across. I read every load screen. I read every manual, because I'm weird like this. I love lore. I read everything that I could get my hands on. I even looked up a summary of the first few games, and I was like, here we go. And read them all. Still don't know what the fuck's going on. It's like the Jorvian Empire, all from the east, is sailing over the ocean. Clearly the Guardians are upset about that. I was like, who the fuck are these people? And why? What? And then I looked up at the major map, and I'm like, oh, Skyrim's just up here. Okay. But it just doesn't. It assumes you're as in love with its plot as they are, and you never are. Like, as the DM, your characters are not as well-versed in your plot as you are. You need to keep reintroducing them, coax them into it, make them want to love your people. Instead, it was just like, look, awesome guy. Cool.
But if you're into furry sex, Skyrim's the game for you. You can be a lizard person, you could be a cat person, you can just all kinds of animal people running around. It's great.
That's another thing. Like, it's the characters are like something from a 5-year-old fantasy. Like, I used to write that shit when I was a kid. Like, I'm back when word processors were a blue screen and you type white letters. I wrote that shit.
Light elf, lizard man,
cat man, dog man. Like, it was just.
And there's the uncanny valley was so nightmarish in that game. Like, your character creation choices were awesome looking beard Viking or just horrifying nightmare face. Like, unless there was a beard hiding your face, you looked so weird.
Oh man, and you're talking to a guy who, like I said, I'll read every manual that you come across. This happens in Witcher 2 as well, or Witcher 3 as well. All the Witchers, you get like random tomes that are like 6 pages long, and I'll read all of them because I just want to know more about the lore. They're talking to a guy who wants to be immersed in a video game, and I could not. The voice actor was the same guy for every guard, like 5 times. Like, I pick voice actors out. I know I've got a weird, useless mutant power, but I'd be like, oh, this was clearly the farmer that was out here. Now he's the guy at the front gate, and oh, look, he's the blacksmith as well. And oh, random guy. Okay, yeah, buy more voice actors. Like, they're cheap. In fact, a lot of them will do it for free. Like, the amateurs will do it for free for the byline of being on Skyrim.
I took an arrow to the knee.
God, that guy. And then the couple things they did right. I like Fusroda. I like the fact that you can, the magical voice, and then the dragons flying around. Some of those fights were pretty cool, but they're also pretty annoying because they just fly around forever, and you're like, please come down. Please. In The Witcher, they come down. You have a couple things you can do. Like this, they'll charge at your face, and you take a crossbow, and you wait, and at the last second you blast in his head, and you roll out of the way, and they slide and hit the ground, and like, dirt goes everywhere. It looks awesome. And then they have this ground fight for a while where they're trying to take off occasionally, and while they're trying to take off, you hit them again. That's fun. Like that, the whole game felt like the combat system. First person melee? Come on, dude. Wow. Like, the 80s called and they want the game back. Shadowfall.
No, you can get a third person if you don't mind being slightly out of sync with the ground you're running on.
Yeah, and yeah, you look like a dumbass. And beyond that, the fighting was absurd. Like I played almost only third person view, and it was just disconnected. It's not like every other third person view where your character's engaging. It was clearly a first person that was
Yeah,
modded to
it
be
was an
third.
afterthought. Yeah, for sure.
That game is bad. Anyway, to my opinion, unpopular.
Yes, unpopular gaming opinions. Minecraft. I don't see the point.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to build a thing. I don't want to put a block on another block. I have Legos for that. I don't. The zombies look stupid. Everyone looks stupid. You look stupid. It's just, what's the point of Minecraft? Oh, look, I just made a giant working computer out of blocks. Yay. I don't know. Do you have to be an engineer to enjoy that game or what?
I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it back when it was like.
Or a Swedish person? Like, what's the point of Minecraft?
I remember I played it for free back in the day, like probably 5 years ago or maybe 6 years ago, and it was like only on the browser at the time, or you had to download some weird Java thing. I think you might still have to do that, but anyway, I played it and I was like, oh, it's kind of fun, a little survival thing. And then they were like, it's $6.99. I was like, fuck no, what?
Yeah,
no.
that's what it looks like. It looks like something you play on a Java, one of those Java game websites that have like 200 free Java games. Yeah. Like, that's the kind of game I'm looking at, but everyone's in love with it. All my Korean students, always Minecraft on their stupid phones, all the time. Minecraft. Dude, you built a stupid house. Congrats. You have a gold pickaxe. I don't get it. I just don't understand. It's an unpopular gaming opinion. I don't understand Minecraft.
I'm kind of back and forth on it. I enjoy myself sometimes, but I can only take so much of it. Once you like have a little house, then it's like, well, I'm done.
It feels like H1Z1 where you're just like, cool, I built a shelter. Safe from zombies now.
Some freaking green troll guy will always find his way into your, like, you make this. I was making like the Winterfell, and I was like, yeah, and I was doing it legit. I was no cheating, so I was like going and mining everything and bringing it up to the top of this tower, or to the top of a mountain, which I know Winterfell's not a mountain, but let's just say it was, because it's awesome to find that way. You're looking up at the skyline, you're like, oh, look, it's a little ridge of Winterfell. So I was making it up there, and I made very sure that I wasn't on any monster spawning spots, and they still somehow all of a sudden it's like, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Or some skeleton archer. I was walking around the edge, making the little parapets, like the little, like on a castle, the castle tops, and all of a sudden it goes, and you hear like an archer fire his arrow, and I was like, no, and it hit me, and I flew off my tower, and I died, and I was like, oh, that part's frustrating, but I just never finish because there's no finishing. So I get it.
Yeah.
You know, a game that was actually good that most people didn't like or got mixed reviews, but a lot of people shit on it.
What's that? America's
Army. Did you ever play that game?
Oh, is that the one that they used as a training game for the military at one point?
Yeah, they tried to. Which it starts out with like Miles gear, which is like a
slash recruiting tool.
It's like military something, laser something, whatever. And you use it in basic, where you put these, like, it's like laser tag basically, and you put like a little laser on the top of your muzzle, and you fire blanks at each other, and you do real time fighting, right? So it's fun because it allows you to work together as a unit to kill the enemy unit. Sometimes it's usually like half your company versus the other company, so it's like sophisticated laser tag with real guns firing blanks, but it's fun. They have that in here to introduce it, but the cool thing is this is the thing I like about this better than almost any other game. Another game that did this well was called Urban Assault. It was a mod off of Quake 3, but here's what it does. When you get shot, you're out of the game, and it doesn't kill you. What it does is it shoots you. You hear this, and you're like, and your guy starts limping, or wherever they hit you. Like if it's your arm, you can't walk up ladders and stuff. So you have to kind of hide away and then bandage yourself, and then you're still kind of fucked. And like grenades are a big deal in this. You can't see them; they're not huge glowing things. It was very much more similar to like combat, the actual combat. And I just loved it. It like actually trained you to be a real soldier, rather than like, running around with shields that regenerate and stuff. I really enjoyed it. Like, it's very tactical. It's, you respond to the situation very similar that you do in real life. So I actually really enjoyed it. It didn't do so well, and the graphics aren't amazing, but overall, it's good. And you get like, you can be like it's got the real ranks. So you got like a fire team alpha leader, and then you've got like a couple riflemen, and then maybe like a saw gunner, right? A support gunner, and then you've got then you'll have like one advanced rifleman, which is a sniper, versus your team. So like, and you're all communicating over comms, And so, you say something like, hey, get the sniper up on the ridge. We'll support him. Fire Team Charlie will support him. Alpha Bravo and Delta will assault. Alpha Bravo will assault the left side. Delta will assault the right. And it was just people that actually did what they're supposed to do most of the time. So, because if you're alone in that game, you die immediately. If you don't have someone around to bandage you or pull you away from the firefight, then you're screwed. So, I really liked the game. I thought it was good. But it's probably not for everyone. If you're like a hero, I'm going to go run, gun, fire from my hip kind of thing, you probably will not like this game.
Speaking of, I do not like Halo.
Me neither. What the hell?
I was at the senior lock-in. They brought a bunch of games. Someone brought their Xbox One, and they were all playing Halo 4. And one of those kids was like, "Oh man, they're playing Halo 4. Halo 4 sucks." And I was like, "Halo 4 does suck." And he's like, "Right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's overrated." And he's like, "Exactly. Halo 2's where it's at." I'm like, "No, Halo 2 also sucks. The whole Halo franchise sucks." And he's like, "Wait, what? No!" And they were all like, every person in that room just suddenly hated me because that was the least popular opinion ever heard for them. I could have said like the Holocaust was a pretty good idea, and they would have been like more okay with that.
Like Hitler wasn't wrong, so
he had some good ideas.
Yeah, it's almost like walking into most of the people of like 2 generations ago and walking in and saying like baseball's a bad game.
Yeah,
it's true. It's objectively true. People now like sports and analysts and the people who talk about gaming and momentum and then crowd fanaticism use baseball as the marker for horrible games because you stand around most of the game. It's like golf as far as
it's the same reason I like football, American football. It's a 2-hour game with maybe 15 minutes of actual gameplay.
Yeah, they found in a 3-hour game was 11 minutes of actual gameplay. Remember? And
yeah.
So you're right. Like, but at least there's stuff in the meantime. Like they're talking about the plays. They show replays. Like. Yeah, I kind of get it.
There's a halftime show.
Yeah, football's not as good either. I get it. Like, but at least there's a lot of like spectator glamour to it. Whereas baseball, there's not. Like, it's a tiny little ball. There's not much to see. But anyway, the point is now that Halo is the baseball of this generation. People are raised on it, and it's like part of the American gaming culture. And so people are so caught up in the hype that they don't understand that the game is objectively horrible. It's a bad game. It's critically, it gets shit on. But popular vote, people love it. That's a bad sign. That means you're watching a Michael Bay film.
When they made Destiny and everybody hated it was just Halo multiplayer. That's all it was. Like, it was an MMO version of Halo. And it took everything that World of Warcraft does to be successful, and it combined it with Halo, and it was just critically shat on. It's because Halo was never good. Making it an MMO doesn't make it better.
It's a bad game. It's a bad game. Like, the gravity system is shit. The guns are shit. They're a little overdone. The sniper rifle has a scope so big on it, this Halo 1, that you can't see over it.
The vehicles are shit.
Now, what was that? The Gulch, the game, the multiplayer map on the first game. That was a fun map. That was cool. But there was very few like that. There's also an ice map on the first or maybe the first game, and that was pretty fun. But past that,
the single. The story mode co-op was like you were Master Chief and the other Master Chief was there too.
Ugh. And can we be done with this whole melee doing more damage than guns? I'm really sick of that. That started with Halo, I think, and it got so ridiculous past that. Now, like, if you run up behind someone, you crack them in the back of the skull with a weapon, they're dead. And I'm like, yeah, but also a bullet.
Halo also introduced the no reason to be cautious mechanic called regenerating shields.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. I like the Battlefield series better, like Battlefield 4, those kind of games, because the mechanics are still somewhat similar. I mean, you can still get shot, and then you kind of go, and you breathe it off, which bugs me. I think you need to like
walk it off, man. You got shot. Walk it off.
Because there's nothing. Yeah, it's just, whatever. Bad game. Another game, but this one's gonna really get me screwed by most gamers that I did not like. Baldur's Gate. Bad game.
I didn't like it either. Any of the Baldur's Gates. None of them.
They're bad.
And I know I got the enhanced edition, like the remake they came out with, because I was like, maybe I was just too young for it, maybe I just didn't understand what I was doing. I installed it, I played it. It's a shitty second edition D&D rules, which were hands down the most convoluted. THACO, really? You count backwards from 0 to see if you hit something?
Saving rolls? Like
saving rolls, kits, and multi-classing was weird. Everything about it was a bad rule system. It was bad graphics. The story was, I don't know. The twist was kind of cool at the end, but that's like the one thing it had going for it. And BioWare's just been reusing that story ever since. Like, let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, this is a game where I had nothing to do with my computer. This was the only game I had for like 2 years straight, and I tried. I beat it. I did not like it. Baldur's Gate 2 came out. I actually pre-ordered it because I was like, the hype can't be that unreal, and a lot of my friends liked it. Played that, got like a fourth of the way through it, put it down. I ate the entire cost and never finished it. It's bad. Icewind Dale, bad game. Those are all bad games. They're objectively bad. And this is for someone who sat down. This is around the same time that I was like repeatedly playing Ninja Gaiden, the original one, the most frustrating game, over and over and over again. If Baldur's Gate can't hold my attention,
tolerance for frustration is pretty high.
Yeah. And the story in that is what? Like some talking scenes in between. It's like, no, and then it just shows like Ryu's face, and it's like ... And it goes to the next. It's like, goes to the next act. Because I don't give a fuck if you're not trying to make a story. I don't care. Like, it's in Battle Block Theater, for example, that I'm playing. I love that game. It's not trying to be a real story. It's trying to be funny, or it's just trying to show you a good mechanic, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. That's fine. But Baldur's Gate seriously does. And they introduce people like that stupid barbarian with the mouse. Boo.
Oh yeah.
He's fucking annoying.
Mexican Boo. He's a giant space hamster, lol. No, it's stupid. Stop it with that.
It's not funny. It's stupid. And the whole what's that called? Not sidekick.
Companions?
The funny people on the side, what are they called? Oh, comic relief. Yeah, the 90s idea of that. Let's be done with that. Screech, these like bumbling idiots. God, they're all over.
And random cursed items. Like my fourth side quest in that game, it's like, oh, it's a girdle of femininity. Now you're a weird, ugly woman for the rest of the game. Have fun with that. Thanks for that, Baldur's Gate, because luckily the graphics are too shitty. I can't tell what gender I am, but thank you for that.
Try to sell this to anyone, anywhere, ever. Hey guys, I was gonna play D&D tonight, but all 5 of us can't make it. 4 of us are gone. Do you want to play everybody else's character plus one you designed and just do that every round? You want to do that? And the person's like, for how long? And you're like, well, I don't know. Like, what's how long?
80 hours?
18 hours? Yeah. No, I don't want to do that. And so
it sounds terrible, actually. Thank you. Well, wait, can I use the worst system of D&D rules ever designed?
You may, and in fact, you must.
Awesome, sign me up. What year is this? Oh, it's 2015. Sure, I'll play the enhanced edition.
It's a bad game, dude.
Oh, okay. So, unpopular gaming opinions. I had way more fun with Zelda Skyward Sword than I ever did with Wind Waker. In fact, I can't finish Wind Waker. I got an HD version on my Wii U. I can't bring myself to go back to finish it. It's just so much sailing. I don't like it. It's boring.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, speaking of sailing, here's one. Assassin's Creed. Bad games. First one was fun. And I'll say that the reason why the first one was fun because it was novel. It was a cool new mechanic. It didn't force the overworld thing too much. It wasn't what would you call that? Iconophile? I don't know. Like where you open up your map and there's like trillions of icons. They do this in GTA. They do this in Skyrim.
Unity.
It's too much. Yeah, it's gotten worse every time. Even Black Flag was bad, and now it's in Unity. It's worse. Like done. We're done with that. Like I understand that.
Stop with the padding of hours. It's enough. We have too many hours.
Yeah, it's not.
Like our problem now isn't like in the old days. Yeah, pad the game because there's only like 5 games. Like there's 5 games coming out every year. Fine, whatever. We don't need you to pad out these games anymore. We have such a backlog of games. Like stop it.
Yeah, and Black Flag, didn't that come out? Let me see. That came out around summer because we got the game in August, and so it would have been like somewhere around June by then or so. So I mean, this is a summer game. There are thousands of summer games coming out, and AAA titles is probably like 10,
and you're not adding value to it by putting like little like Easter eggs around with like treasure chests with $20 in them. They're not even worth your time to dig up. You're like, that really adds value. I feel like my money's better spent now. No, you're not. It's not making the game any better. Stop.
And Assassin's Creed in general, like every year they come out with a new one, and I'm just like, can we be done? Like there's a franchise that does that as well, which is Batman, but they rock. Like right now, they're really, really good. They get great critical acclaim. People love them, and they're still legitimately fun. But Assassin's Creed, man, can we be done? Can we be done with Assassin's Creed?
Speaking of, can we be done? Final Fantasy, really? Stop with the Final Fantasy games. Yeah, I'm serious. Final Fantasy. When's the last time you played a good Final Fantasy game? Like 8?
Yeah.
12?
10? I like 10.
No.
I like 12.
I liked 8 better than 10. I think 10 is really overhyped. oh, I've got stupid costume design, like one pants leg longer than the other, the worst voice acting in any video game ever, of completely cliched characters. Like, I'm a mysterious cleavage wizard. What else do we know about Lulu besides that she has cleavage? Waka has a stupid haircut and a bad accent. What else do we know about him? He's goofy. Titus and Yuna, I could not care any less about two protagonists, whether they end up together or even survive the story. I do not care. And spoiler alert, everyone that hasn't played 10 yet, Luke, I am your father. Oh my god, the bad guy's my father? What? No, stop it with 10. The only good thing about 10 was Blitzball. Once I unlocked Blitzball, I just stopped caring about the story altogether.
I liked it. I thought it was good because you've got the water sword, which is a cool mechanic anyway, and I like the new beach theme. And the fights were, to me, they were fun. They were faster paced than like 8 or 9, or especially like 5, 4, 5, and 6 kind of thing. They were much faster paced, and they were. And then you've got the sphere grid leveling system, which I loved. And additionally, I thought it was cool that they used. I liked some of the supporting cast, like Kamari. I liked who else? I liked Oron.
Can I counter that with ha 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 ha?
Titus's voice acting was horrible.
Also, the bad guy was just like a fancy Sephiroth. Really? Just like
that was weird.
Sephiroth priest. I don't know. Overrated game. Unpopular gaming opinion. I understand, but I liked 8 way better than 10.
Yeah. Speaking of that, 8's the best Final Fantasy in my opinion. I understand.
That's also complete bullshit.
Hey, I understand people are going to be upset by that, but 8 was amazing. Let me pitch this to you. 1, you've got a love interest, right? Like in almost all the Final Fantasies. It's not Final Fantasy 10 or 12 where you're a little kid and your crush is like this older paladin. That's weird. But instead it's like you've got a crush. It's Renoa. She's achievable, and you both are in the same school together. Let's throw out the whole like previous spoiler, but some previous backstory, okay? But you guys are in school together. Everybody's in high school and loves some girl that was like attainable, but because Squall's a little weird, and then Renoa was a little weird too. She wasn't like this super popular Japanophile, kawaii, victory fingers, like she was like an attainable girl. And as you go along the story, she doesn't just die halfway through and leave you to selfie to deal with for the rest of the time. Like. Or Quistis. I don't want to date Quistis. I spent all my time developing Renoa. And in fact, I was so burned by 7 that on 8, I didn't even put much time into Renoa. I restarted the game when I got halfway through and she got in danger near the sewer systems, if I remember right. And she came out alive. I was like, oh shit, she's going to stick around? I restarted and I redid it. She's a badass.
Can I counter that by saying after the first disc, I have no idea what that story was about anymore?
Yeah, dude. Whenever we
ended up on the moon for some reason. What's going on?
So spoiler here, like the first part is fucking amazing. Like you go to like snipe away the queen, the sorceress.
I was so invested in being a mercenary like school. I thought that was such a cool idea. We were like on an assassination mission.
Yeah, and then the guy that you put all your faith into, your sniper, can't do it. You find out that he can't pull the trigger. He's been fucking around this whole time. And guess what happens? Goddamn hero mode is what happens. You just go beep. You push a little beast mode button, and you just leap over the edge, jump into a car, and you're just tearing through a parade to get to her face to face. Like
the whole mission goes pear-shaped, and it's so awesome because you're like, this didn't go as planned. This is terrible. What's going on? How's it? Oh man, we just failed the mission. What's happening? And then there were 3 CDs of just fever dream madness. I have no idea what that story was about.
No, hold on. Like let's stay in this moment for a second, because like this guy, this defines Squall as a good character. This is what I like so much about him. Like, yes, in 7 you've got Cloud. Sorry, I always rename my people Jeremiah, obviously. But you've got Cloud, who's a badass. But he's been a badass since day 1. You start the game being a badass, so there's no plot twist. Like, yeah. But with
Squall starts the game in the infirmary because he just lost the duel.
Yeah, yeah. And you got owned by this guy, and that sets the precedence, just like in Mega Man X, right? Where you fight this guy, you see someone way cooler than you, Zero, and you see this bad guy who beats the shit out of you, and you're like, wow, cool, I've got a lot of room to grow. And the next time you see that guy, you rock his shit. Guess what? That's what happens here. And not only does you rock Cypher's shit, you meet him with the sorceress with him. This is a stacked fight, and it's you against the world. But guess what? You fight a couple rounds, and then your friends show up. How fucking cool is that? And then you're fighting them, and you start to win, and then you fucking die. I don't get that part, but still, it's cool.
No, I'm with you, man. The first CD of Final Fantasy VIII is a great game. The remaining 3 are bizarre. Nobody can explain what the story is. You probably don't even remember what happened, except they end up on the moon
to fight
somehow.
the monsters. The monsters are coming.
See, that's why when you say it's the best game of the series, and yet you've only gotten to Figaro Castle in Final Fantasy VI, like you have to take your opinion with a grain of salt.
What? Yeah, okay, so hold on. But there's still some cool shit to go, right? First of all, there's missiles involved for some reason, but you got a floating garden, which is awesome. And then on top of that, you're paid a mercenary salary. It's not like Cloud, who was in Soldier, granted previously, but even while he was in Soldier in the first few missions, you didn't get paid for that shit. But in FF8, you do, and it's depending on how awesome of a soldier you are. Granted, you have to take some tests, but that's cool. You can get your C rank up.
You get to study. You have to do those stupid like quizzes where you have to like memorize all the surveys. And then, and can I just say the draw system? The draw system. If you're gonna spend
True.
Just draw. I've got enough magic to get me through the next hour of the game. It's like 3 hours of draw and then 1 hour of gameplay. Fuck that noise.
Draw was a cool idea that went haywire. It's true. I didn't mind because I spent so much time with that game. Well, it almost ruined some of our friendship, but it was fun. But like, yeah, it ruins some of the boss fights. Whenever you finally fight the sorceress Adita, remember you see her and there's this cool cinema scene. She's sitting in this chair. She's been waiting for you. She's at the top of this tower. She's got this badass mask.
She's got like really good magic, and it's the only place I can get it. Hold up, Adita.
Stands up. She turns around and then she summons these 2 like devil dogs, and she's like, dude, you guys are fucked. And you're like, oh shit, this wasn't us climbing this tower to get to her to kill her. This was a trap. And then you're like, oh shit. And so you're fighting a fight of your life. That fight is hard. And even if you've leveled a lot, which I did, I was like, oh shit, you still have to draw because those 2 dogs have 2 things you absolutely need. Berserk, if I remember right, and then like wall or something that you can't get anywhere else. So that sucked. So you're just sitting there drawing from these guys where you're trying to keep everyone else alive, giving them like elixirs and having them heal each other, draw from these dogs.
If that game had ended after the first CD, it'd be like the best Final Fantasy game ever made. But it went on 3 more CDs of madness.
There's another moment of like awesomeness that ends in a what the fuck. Okay, so you're flying Ragnarok, which is the name of your ship, which is cool, and it looks badass. It looks like something out of like Evangelion or something. You're flying to the moon, and you bust into that shield, right? And you just your ship claws that shit open. That's awesome. And then you insert yourself like. I'm sure it's like rape or something. So I'm sure there's some weird Japan joke going on there, but you just shove your shit in there, and then you go and assault this moon base, and I don't know what happens there. Something about Renoa turning into a ghost, and then I think
they were all in the same orphanage at some point, and the sorceress was their mom.
And she's dying, and all of a sudden you're there. Or no, you're floating to space, and she shows. I don't even remember. No, this is my favorite.
You're going after her because she's lost. I don't know. I like the dance scene in the first CD when it's.
But here's what's funny. You guys connect together, and you die again, don't you? No, you show up again on the ground.
Also, random flashbacks where you're maybe your dad or something. Your Laguna sometimes in these weird dream sequences.
That was weird.
It's a weird game. It's weird, Jeremiah. Like the only way that game makes sense is like the fan theories where Squall died and the rest is just him hallucinating as his brain shuts down. Like
I'm saying that's happening. It's like, awesome.
If that's the official legit story, then that's a pretty sweet story. Because otherwise, it's just Japanese people got on mushrooms or something and just took over. Like the story team got fired halfway through, and they're like, "No, we got this, bro. We just took some LSD, and it's gonna be incredible."
The game is awesome. Fuck you. 7 has its weird points too.
Yeah, I don't like 7 either. 6, man, you got to play it longer than an hour.
Never gonna happen. No, it's gonna happen this summer, so it's cool. All right.
Unpopular gaming opinions.
Here's my other one. This one's real quick. Or 2 of them real quick back to back because there's not much to say about one. Command & Conquer, not a good RTS. I went and played that game. And I play RTSs. I'm an RTS guy. I played just Warhammer. I've played StarCraft like crazy, almost like, to a pretty good level. I played oh god, what have all the RTS I played? I've played tons. Warcraft. Every RTS that's come out for a while, I play. Command & Conquer is a bad game. You make like a ton of one tank and you go and kill the enemies, or you make a bunch of. It's a bad game. It's a bad game. A good game is Dawn of War 1. Dawn of War 2 is pretty cool because of the fact you have to get resource nodes. But Command & Conquer, if you like it, you're wrong. Sorry. It's good. Just like Age of Empires, not a good game. There's no pressing reason to do it. And the way you win in that game competitively is like gimmicky. Use gimmicks. So I don't like it.
Unpopular gaming opinion. D&D 4th edition was the best D&D.
Best it was. It's the best edition.
I don't care if it's like an MMO. It's fun. It's tactical. It's strategic. You can still RP. Stop not RPing and blaming the game.
Some of our best RP came from that. Like we had a dungeon dive. It's literally meant to, it says, when you don't have a DM and you've got no story to tell and RP isn't important, you can do a dungeon delve. And me and David did this at like midnight. We sit down on the floor, no DM, just me and him. We get one of these dungeon delves, which is like, it's in the back of the book. You set it down, and then we just played. And some of my greatest RP is from there. Like I still remember our time. If you're like your little wizard or your little like a blade singer.
Yeah, sword mage.
Yeah, your blade singer. And then I've had my Dragonborn cleric, who was just like, he was the bravado type. So he was like super. Yeah, he'd like rush in and like, save people, and then like and he would inspire you. But I made him kind of a dick, where I was like, because he didn't heal that much, so I was like, well, he can't be too inspiring. So he's probably just like, hey, rub some dirt on it, you little bitch, and like, so we had a great time. And then it was Edge, and who was your other character?
Yeah, remember Edge, where he like punched the wolf and like threw him off of a tower, and then leapt off the tower to land on the wolf. He was so
took like 60 damage from jumping. It was worth it because I squashed that wolf. That wolf dodged my axe like 7 rounds, and I was like spending my action points. I was going nuts. I did my heroic on him. Nothing happened.
But how is it possible that you roleplayed in 4th edition? There's no RP.
Oh, that's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. And dude,
remember when you threw your axe at the dragon that was flying away and killed it with a well-timed critical hit?
Yeah. This dragon is like limping away because like we had just beaten the crap out of it barely. It ate one of our friends.
It just ate him alive like a wizard. He's just like, hey guys, nom. And I was like, Telestar, it was my wizard. I was so sad.
And Edge was like, oh my gosh, that's like the only guy I've ever had any kind of banter with. Because like the time before he ran in front of him, he was kind of charging around, killing shit. And he was like, what? So I did my fury, my rage, and I'm just like going nuts on this guy. And he starts to fly away, and I'm like, are you kidding? And all of us are like melee, so he's gonna get away. And I was like, no! So I just ran like all the squares I could, and then just threw my axe.
It's like a huge great axe. It's not a throwing axe at all.
And it moved like 2 spots, but then you can throw like another 2 if you take negatives. And so I was just like, yeah, just this desperate chuck, and it landed. And I kind of got critted him, and he was like, ah! He hit the ground. And I was like, fuck yes! And I went and just tore his wings off. Because I was like, ah! Like,
and that was a dungeon delve with no DM and just the 2 of us, and we still managed to roleplay the shit out of that game.
Yeah, we did a lot of roleplay. So screw you. Like, you can insert roleplay. If the core mechanic is fun, roleplay will come.
Yeah, what's fun about roleplaying that you're a 4 hit point wizard that ran out of spells and is using his crossbow?
That was the worst. Yeah. It was just an unbalanced thing anyway, because you'd like sit and like cook your wizard for like 7 or 8 levels, and then he was a badass. But then your fighters kind of fell off. So like at any one time, there's like 1 or 2 people at the table who are not having fun.
Yeah, the game mechanic is built around we all take turns having fun. Low level, the fighter gets to have fun. High level, the wizard gets to have fun. But you can't all have fun at the same time. Fuck
and
that.
The cleric never gets to have fun.
The cleric has to use all his spells on heals, or he gets bitched at.
Dude, in 4th edition, there's like 4 kinds of healers, and they're all fun. They're all fun. I played them all.
And you don't have to use your whole turn healing. It's a minor action, so you can do something badass and be like, by the way, heal. And you only heal twice a battle anyway, so you're not just a walking vending machine of healing potions.
Oh, and there's qualitatively different kinds of people in each role. Like a guardian, you could do it qualitatively differently. I played like a movement-oriented.
Like everybody feels the same complaint. Like fighters feel just like wizards. Obviously not. You just looked at it superficially, never played it, and said, "Oh, they all have at-wills, encounters, and dailies. Therefore, they're all the same."
I have never played a fighter in a game before that game. Once I did in 2nd edition. I was like, this is boring because there's a lot of basic attacks and like simple shit.
Basic attack.
I was like, oh, I'll make I made a paladin, and I was like, okay, and I had a certain way of being sticky and moving around the field and doing cool looking stuff. And then I made this movement oriented fighter where I push people around and throw people and move that was like playing chess in real time. It's fun, like.
Yeah, we're in the clear minority on it, though. This is an unpopular opinion. That game failed because nobody fucking liked it except us. We're like the only people buying it.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Additionally, Diablo 3 sucks.
Diablo 3 sucks because Diablo always sucked. Diablo 2, also an overrated game. It's just games got better, and Diablo 3 was just the same as it was before, and we realized that, oh, this game was never actually fun. Now we have things to compare it to that are fun.
Weird game. It's more fun than 2. And two, the reason why two was so popular and one was so popular was because LAN parties, right? Like this is computer games, and so at a LAN party, you didn't have a lot of options that would let you just sit around and play with each other a lot. Like I've been LANing since a long time, but and then like these. Diablo 2 is one of the hottest LAN games that was played. Besides, like Quake 3 was the standard, of course, Unreal Tournament, those kind of things. But as far as like a different sort of game, Counter-Strike, that kind of thing. But for a different sort of game that lets you just kind of chill, Diablo 2 was kind of the hot shit because you could drop in and out of people's sessions. Diablo 1 was fun too. It just took more like kind of careful putting together. But Diablo 3 is everyone's starting to, I think, I don't know. It was considered somewhat of a failure. And critically, it did pretty well, but sales-wise, Blizzard was like, yeah, we need to change some things up. So they said they're not even planning to revisit the franchise at this point because of how poorly it did.
Yeah, because it wasn't fun. Not when you have like good games to compare it to now.
You know what else sucks? Resident Evil.
Yes. Resident Evil is a whole franchise. Even Resident Evil 4 is overrated, I think. It's a whole franchise built on poor gameplay making you feel stressed when you're actually not afraid. It's
what happens when you add zombies to Japanese developers. It's weird, dude. And like, yes, when people start defending it,
did the Final Fantasy VIII team like take over the Resident Evil lore or what? Because
halfway through, yeah, Wesker, the super cyber ninja from the Matrix, and like what the? Okay, it's
some of our viruses make you zombies, some of them make you super ninjas. You don't know.
People in the last 5 years are starting to figure out something that a lot of people in the zombie film genre knew for a long time. I didn't know this until I got into this genre, like just before this explosion took off with like Left 4 Dead 2, all the movies like Walking Dead, or the comic first, and all these different things. But zombies were always kind of cool. Resident Evil survived in an era where nobody knew how to make good zombie stuff. So that's why it was okay. The voice acting was terrible. The T-Virus, that's a cool idea. Umbrella, like owning that, it's kind of okay until you get into the weird shit. But then like zombie plants, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you fight a zombie plant in the first little part of Resident Evil 1. The voice actors, like I said, were terrible. The loading mechanic was bad. The cameras were bad. The gameplay was bad. The story was bad. And the graphics were bad. And the voice actors were bad. Tell me what's good about the game besides, oh my god, this is a game with zombies in it, which hadn't happened before. Nothing. And Resident Evil 4 even, like, it's fun because the mechanic got better on an already bad game. So we have the contrast effect of it's like when your wife has been beaten her whole life and then the husband he comes home and goes, I got you a beer that I like. If you don't like, I'll drink it. She's like, wow, that's really nice of him. He's never done anything for me before. So all of a sudden,
that's like, Resident Evil 4. It's like the abusive husband buying you a beer that he plans on drinking.
And don't get me wrong, I played all these games and I beat 1, 2, 3, Nemesis, Code Veronica, 4. Didn't beat 5, but I played the shit out of it. Didn't play 6 because it got bad reviews. But I play all these games and beat them. But I also know they're bad. So, like, I'll play a zombie game, period. But Resident Evil is really starting to lose my interest since this whole 5 was weird. 4 was fucking weird. Dude, there's like a little puppet man in a Spanish outfit.
Whose idea was to take out the zombies? They're like, you know what people really don't care for right now are zombies. Let's just take those out of Resident Evil. People like crazy mutants and weird stories better than zombies. Let's do that. Let's do more of that.
Why didn't they stick with the Tyrant? The Tyrant was one of the coolest ideas that made it in today's literature. Now you see all kinds of different kinds of zombies. You know, you get the monster zombies or the Chargers, you know, like in Left 4 Dead 2, or like the tank in Left 4 Dead 2, or in a lot of literature you find that these evolved forms of zombies, you know, that can run now. That was all something that like Resident Evil had kind of introduced. So that's cool. But we have to admit that it's kind of like the old forms of martial arts that sucked. Now we've got mixed martial arts, and we know that's clearly been demonstrated to be the best in the cage. And then in multiple demonstrations where people challenge anyone in the audience, an MMA guy comes out and wrecks the shit out of a traditional martial artist. We got to kind of treat it like that. Good for you. We respect you. Well done.
Right.
Thanks for
like
getting us here.
It was cool for a while, but eventually, you know, technology outpaces it.
Yeah, and people are doing it better. Like now you can get we wear ceramic plates, and ceramic, because it shatters and it distributes the force of a rifle round, and so that's actually better than metal, which is weird, but it's true. So the ceramic plates we wear is actually less stalwart as metal plates, but it's just better for this situation. So
we've done a whole episode on this, but I'll just reiterate: Sonic the Hedgehog, overrated franchise. It was never a fun franchise. The reason Sonic sucks now is the same reason Diablo 3 sucked. It's because it was never a good game.
Yep. Yeah. And then I had one more. There was one that I liked that like most people didn't. Gosh, what was it? Besides the Final Fantasies, I liked some of those.
Here's something I like that most people didn't. The Wii U. Why is this console failing? It's clearly the best of the new consoles. It's so fun.
I gotta admit, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, it failed. I wish more games came to it. That's my only sad part. Because when they're like, Arkham Knight isn't coming to Wii U, I was like, the fuck, dude? You get a Batmobile. You know how awesome that'd be? And gadgets.
Oh yeah, yeah, that'd be fun.
So cool. But there's no incentive to do that. Wait, another game that sucked. Half-Life, not a good game.
Oh yeah, yeah. Half-Life 3.
Love Half-Life. Played them all to death multiple times. Played the death matches. Also realized it's a bad game. So because the plot's weird. Gordon Freeman teleported to another world that ends up being kind of like
it's
this
just
one.
It's just like a nerd power fantasy.
Yeah, it is, and I get it. That's cool, but let's just admit that it's not that big of a deal. Half-Life 3, if it never comes out, I'm not really giving it one shit. So there's that. And there was one more. What was it? It was a game that I really liked that didn't do so well. I'm gonna find it. Oh, did you like Rage?
Never played it.
No, I like that game. I thought it was good. The Warhammer series. It's awesome. If you don't play those games and get into the lore, I don't get it. I understand it's not for everyone, but I love them all.
I could give two shits about Warhammer. Just the lore never grabbed me.
I don't get it, but I understand because that's what a lot of people say. But I just love it. It's good. But,
well,
anyway.
I think we've managed to offend at least every listener on some level at this point.
Well, I mean, we've disagreed on some of these too. I disagree.
That's the whole point of the episode. It's unpopular gaming opinions. If people agreed with us, it would be the wrong episode.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out, man. Let's do. Oh, we don't have feedback. We just now did feedback, so I guess we're just gonna have to do like. What are we gonna do to sign out?
Well, let me walk you through the summer reading list of Chrono Trigger for people who aren't in the Facebook group. So for our summer book club, we talked about a couple episodes ago. It's on. It's good to go. We're devoting June to Chrono Trigger, and our other two winning games were Earthbound and Terra Enigma, which I'm excited about because I've never played that one. But Chrono Trigger is our first one by popular demand. It cleared out the votes. Everybody loved it. So here's the schedule. Get out a piece of paper because you're going to want to know this, or just join the Facebook group. For crying out loud, I posted there.
Yeah, the Facebook group is that, in case you don't know, we've said it every time, but I'll let you know again, facebook.com/groups/Theory Podcast.
Yes, Game Theory Podcast. Check us out there. We only have probably a tenth of our listeners are actually in the group. So for everyone else that's missing out, here's what the plan is. On week 1, June 1st to June 6th, you're going to play from the beginning through the end of time. That's about 3.5 hours of gameplay. So squeeze that into your week if you want to participate in this little book club. So once you get to the end of the time, that's where you stop. Week 2, June 7th, you're going to start in the Mystics Village, and you're going to get through the Azala Showdown. I'm trying to keep this generic enough to where if you haven't played it before, there's no spoilers, but you'll know it when you get there. There's an Azala Showdown. Week 3, June 14th to June 20th, you're going to go from a magical utopia through the time egg. That will make sense to you once you get there. You'll know it when you see it. Week 4, June 21st to June 27th. This is the Fated Hour. Basically, a lot of bonus quests that are not necessary to finish the game, but they're fun. So we're talking Ozzy's Fort, Northern Ruins, the Sunstone, and the Rainbow Shell. Week 5 is just 3 days, June 28th to June 30th. We're going to wrap it up with the Fated Hour. We're going to do King Guardia's little side story and the Genodome. Finally, the final battle. You're going to do the final battle. I'll leave it at that. That'll be how we end up the month.
Wow. I'm not looking forward to that. No spoilers, but all right. Yes. It's kind of like, man, do you remember Final Fantasy VIII's finish? That was annoying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. The final battle is a little less annoying than that, thankfully. I got to Final Fantasy VIII's finish, and I just kind of got stuck because I ran out of something. I was like under-leveled or whatever, and I couldn't get out of it. Luckily, I never had that same issue with Chrono Trigger. So if you were planning on reading along with our little book club and joining in for the bonus episodes, I think it'd be fun to get some people, some fans on the show to discuss these too, like some special guests. So we'll look for volunteers. But schedule 3.5 to 4 hours a week for this. That should be enough time to get through the content and get through the game in a month. So yeah, that's if you want to see the reading schedule and you didn't write it down because I spoke too fast, just join the Facebook group. It's all up there.
Yeah, sounds good. But yeah, so we don't have feedback or anything else because we're recording this early. I'm going to be in Mexico with my fams. So yeah, I guess we'll talk to you in a week. And I'm coming back. I'm hoping to record that Sunday, but it's possible we might have to do a Monday release because I have to drive back from Atlanta. And I hope to be able to just jump in and do the podcast, but there's a chance that we won't be able to. So
Fair
I'll
enough.
let you know. It might be this one will come out on time, but then the subsequent one after the first week of June, it might be a little slow. But all right, well, thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll talk to you again in a week. Have fun in the future with all your jetpacks and things.